They'll come loud and they'll come fast,
but we shoot first and we can last. Keep your rifle by your side, singing, oh Lord, this earth was made for us. Singing, oh Lord, this sinful life just ain't enough. So we'll take a stand, 'cause we must protect our land. Keep your rifle by your side. They'll come day and they'll come night. They'll have our children in their sights. But if they don't have faith, their eyes are blind.
They can scream and they can shout, but they can never smoke us out.
Keep your rifle by your side, singing, oh Lord, this earth was made for us. Singing, oh Lord, this sinful life just ain't enough. When we hear the voice, we know we have no other choice. Keep your rifle by your side.
They'll have bombs and they'll have tanks, 'cause they've got money in their banks. But we won't fall as long as we can fight.
They'll go on and preach their hate, but they won't get past the gate. Keep your rifle by your side, singing, oh Lord, this earth was made for us. Singing, oh Lord, this sinful life just ain't enough. When I see your face, I know I must protect my place. I'll keep my rifle by my side, singing, oh Lord, this earth was made for us. Singing, oh Lord, this sinful life just ain't enough. When I see your face, I know I must protect my place. I'll keep my rifle by my side. Keep my rifle by my side. Keep your rifle by your side.
Gonna build a castle,
Build a castle,
gonna build it high.
build it high.
Gonna build it brick by brick and stone by stone till it reaches up to the sky. When the sun goes down and the wind gets cold, we'll be warm inside. The storm will keep on brewing, but we'll have a place to hide.
Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon and I write games for fun. What are we working on today? Well, we are working on a mistake. Yeah, that's it, we're pretty much just working on a mistake. So, what is this? What is this? Why am I doing this in particular? Well, a few reasons. The fix for Kidworld got a little sidetracked for more than one reason. Mostly because Vadris Entertainment turned out to be insane, and their system is clunky as all hell, and I hated every second of it, and it's either rewrite everything from the ground up or try something else with the pitch, but none of the ideas I had really worked. It just wasn't very entertaining, or it was just like this kind of a weird concept that's not very fun on the table. So, I was going to skip ahead straight to Table Talk Online. However, after a conversation with the people at Lewd Game Finder and Discord, those batch of perverts that you can't help but love, I was slightly convinced to do a Valkyria Chronicles hack. Now, fun thing about Valkyria Chronicles, there's a little story I should start with. Valkyria Chronicles is a very odd game. Came out in, 2008 it almost feels like, as a PS3 launch title. And it can be summarized as anime World War II, where you play anime pretty boys and girls as you go around stopping the Imperial Russian-German army from invading Belgium, Switzerland, and Japan. It had a lot of weird quirks about it. Like, technically the best unit in the game was the first girl you get because she could sprint around the battlefield and gun down every single troop like it was nothing. Because guess what? She is you were more encouraged, it's a very odd game. It's a game that you could really exploit because the systems in place were pretty solid. But the second part is that there has been no real attempt. Although, actually, I take that back. There has been an attempt to put this on the table, and it was using only war. Now, I read through that version, and it got nowhere. And I think one of the issues there is the Dark Heresy, and the Dark Heresy system, however you'd like to call it, isn't really suited for it. While it had all the points to it, I think it just didn't have the oddities needed for a game like it. And that sorry, a little bit later than I usually do, and I just drank a shit ton of whiskey. And I think one of the key things with it is that how do you even word this? You tried and failed, mind you, to get across the feelings of the system, but they didn't finish it really using only war, and I think the problem is I think they burned out more than anything. I think they very much were reading, going really hard, and if you actually look at the book, it's very well formatted. The problem is formatting doesn't really mean anything if A, nobody reads it, and B, if you're not actually done. That's why But Notepad had on your games look terrible. I know. That's on purpose because I usually just try to get the rules in place more than trying to worry about how it looks. That's why I kind of add pictures sporadically throughout. So that's kind of the story of how I started this. Now, one thing to note is that I've gone through already. Gone through this a bit. I was originally planning on just doing this independently. But I was, again, with the falling out of Kidworld and the various other looking for something to do, I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's stream it. So, here is my handy-dandy part here. So, yeah, I'll just go through what has been changed majorly. Well, War Drama, this is a stupid hack about making it about Valkyria Chronicles and the accurate depiction of Alicia gunning down all the Imperials in a 15-mile radius. So, one thing is I cut down a lot of the options here because it just didn't fit with the core concept of a Valkyria Chronicles game. Valkyria does not help that Valkyria is not a real fucking word. And most things kept relatively the same here. Outside images, all the skills are the same. Yes, all the skills are the same. However, from the original Hearts of Darkness anyway, I changed who you are, because in the original Hearts of Darkness is very much dependent on where you are geographically speaking. As you see, I wasn't really caring here. Here, I'm going to mark that in red so I remember to fix it. And I pretty much made it to where the characters are from originally, as well as their original occupation, who they were before the war, and our various characters. So, classes were another kind of issue that I was having some difficulties with. Some obviously conflicted in. The Warlord obviously became the commander. Sorcerer kind of got nowhere. Scammer got nowhere. What was it? The Scrapper became the engineer pretty easily, as a lot of things just kind of moved in the way it should. Then the murderer became the shock trooper. I need to fix this entire section, really. But overall, a lot of this worked pretty well by just converting it 1-to-1. And obviously the mercenary didn't really work because I removed all the options for playing something not that. For desires, I changed lusts to desires and spirit totems to mementos. As you see here, I'm having to rework the magic system pretty drastically, as there is none. What I may do is, if I choose to operate in things like the Valkyria, the Valkyria themselves, I might put something there, but overall, playing a game about it's not really going to be about them, but I'm still going to have to put them in. But yeah, let's see. A picture of home village, and dope milk, ivory pendant, lucky rose, baseball cap, holy book. Health and living. This actually remained very similar. And I debated on, like, oh, well, I'll tone it up a little bit, make characters a little bit harder. And I'm like, not really, because for those who don't know about Valkyria Chronicles doesn't fuck around sometimes. People die pretty fast. And unless you're, again, at least you've gone through with 15 command points, being able to sprint around the battlefield and immediately body every single major troop on the battlefield, living is not really your priority. Well, actually, it is your priority. You just are very bad at it. I actually kept in the rule to make characters a little bit less strong. Actually, what I should do. Notice, as you see here, some Rising Storm 2 memes, because I can do that. On health, on health values, Hearts of the Valkyria. If the leader and the players want to, feel free to increase increase health of all limbs by 5. This makes characters a lot hardier and generally tougher to the rigors of war. There we go. Still get stabbed in the neck and still getting shot in the head. Again, these are very accurate depictions of how I play Rising Storm 2, me getting shot in the face and me getting shanked to death. Now, equipment was interesting because this was probably one of the harder parts for a few reasons, but I digress. One of the key things about Valkyria Chronicles is that it's stuck in this kind of quasi-World War II-esque time. And if we go down here, they also have an obsession with melee weapons. These are in the later games, not just Valkyria Chronicles, but mostly 2 and 3. Not as much as in 4, but I haven't played 2, 3, or 4, to be honest. But I decided to add in quite a bit of other things, such as mauls, swords, great swords, and the war pick. As yeah, these are equipment used by the forces in Valkyria Chronicles. It's dumb, but it's there. We also have a smaller assortment of guns. The original list for Hearts of Darkness here. So, as you kind of see, there are a distinct, slightly more, actually not dreaming in Meme Frica, more like assault rifles, more rifle, actually, yeah, a few more rifle options, a few more shotgun options. As well as some options that just didn't make the cut in Hearts of Darkness for one way or another. But I had to do that because overall there isn't really actually that much to work with. Because again, these are games first and foremost, so you're working with things like rifles and like basic assault rifles and very World War II-esque. And most characters are going to have rifles. Which also brings me to Lance. The Lance is a very unique tool, and very unique to Valkyria Chronicles, as it replaces a traditional RPG. As you have a giant lance that you will run around with and try to blow up other tanks with other tanks' radiators. And, yeah. They're an interesting weapon to kind of accommodate around, as they are effectively rocket launchers that are a little bit more easy to use and a little bit shorter range, hence, you know, things like range 100 meters, 250 meters. And of course we have our bolt action weapon. I kept the carbine in because I felt like it. Probably I could, yeah, I probably bump down the lever action. Yeah, that's fine. A little bit less range, a little bit more fire rate, but boom, boom. And then shotguns. I could probably get rid of the auto shotgun. Actually, automatic shotgun. Was there an automatic shotgun? Yes. And obviously pumped off, sawn off shotgun pistols are very basic SMGs. Technically, PDWs aren't as common in World War II, but they were still kind of a thing, but kind of not a thing. It was very interesting of how that was done. They weren't as way much widespread as one may think, but I digress. Let's see. Obviously, I added the flamethrower in. Flamethrowers just point and click and kill everything in a 15-mile radius. Vehicles. I cut down vehicles because I had to, because there aren't a lot of things in World War II that were, or World War II-esque tanks that were also in here, so I ended up having to move things around. Because you get things like the heavy battle tanks, obviously, infantry fighting vehicles. And technically, you can get a tank at. And I did fold in the aircraft from the basic aircraft to kind of the more advanced version, because I can. Yeah. Fun fact, Googling all these images were fun, because it's like, oh, anime D-Day, anime this, anime that, just to try to find weird fucking images. It's great. Anime Battle of Britain. Fate and Blind Faith. This is the magic system. It worked. I cut out a lot of the magic bits because I had to. And now we are currently at this phase. And obviously we have to doink. Small scale and large scale combat, managed initiative, 1d10 plus twitch. Go away. Gunfights. Start shooting at each other. Gunfight starts on their turn of initiative. May opt to do 1 to 4 actions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move 1 of 5 actions. I'm very smart. Da 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 da. This is why we read through everything again, because people like me exist. And these are pretty simple. Again, maneuvering, overwatching. Oh god, I have to change him to them. All of their opponents. If any move during this turn, may take a single shot at them, reloads their gun, opens fire toward an enemy, they may fire a number of shots. Single shot, burst. Shot with their gun, character shoots, character may opt to fire half the rate of fire, adding +2 to close range, and +3 in long range. Character contacts with their gun skill, plus 1d10 bullets, up to the number fired. Not the kill. Multiple targets, and you. Actual burst from may choose to target multiple opponents. I think this works pretty well. I kept debating with myself, going back and forth of like, do I want to dedicate to replicate the Valkyria Chronicles game, and I don't, for 2 reasons. One, Valkyria Chronicles is a game. It is a video game, and it has some quirks about it that are very video gamey. The activations, the various moment-to-moment objects. It's to facilitate a good game. Great video game, not great on the table. It's just like, oh yeah, here, activate a bunch of this to do more actions. Didn't quite flow as well as I was hoping. What I may do is I may integrate later on. If I show this, I shot this around and people were like, I hate this, I love this, or whatever. I might integrate where the light fades softly combat system, the up to 3 action combat system, depending on how I choose to keep going with this. But overall, goodbye, half-naked Idris Elba. Let's see. We want normal text, melee, yoink. Twitch, attempting to dodge. Grenades, when throwing a grenade, 1d10 plus twitch plus athletics. And heavy weapons. And then 2 hit modifiers. So we have our ambush, target immobilized. Ricochet. And finally our hit locations. So overall combat works pretty well. It worked in the original, it's going to work on this one pretty okay. So I'm not really complaining as much. Okay, so let's see. Why we fight. Why we fight. Large scale combat. Oh yeah, what would be it? Actually, let's do chaos on the battlefield. People like to think that heroes can win wars, but not a single person can overthrow a nation or bring them together. Fortunately, it's not that easy. No war is won by a single hero running in and stopping an army. It requires a force of individuals who are trained and ready to do what it takes to survive and win. Battles will have hundreds on either side. Fighting to the end till victory is achieved. This is where large-scale combat comes into play. And then the brigade. This reminds me, I need to go to open up iron caskets. I'm getting random things on YouTube videos. That's a good start. Alright, so we'll go to regiment. Regiment composition, so... yeah, battalion. Large-scale combat. The brigade is organized into battalions, companies. Actually, if it's a brigade, yeah, this is it. You're one step below the. Yeah, one step below that. So, squad is 10. Average size of brigade. All right, actual number of soldiers inadequate a pitch to work with it properly. Will use 10. Squad is 10. Platoon is 30 to 50, and the brigade is. Either make sure what an individual platoon or company is composed of for the sake of completeness. Supreme Commanders and Officers. The Supreme Commander is the overall leader of the force. They will be organizing units. The fighting units. Fighting units without an officer to fight and roll their dice. If the Supreme Commander is ever killed, the entire operation begins to fall apart. Used for the fighting unit, particular bonus. As a commander troops, they listen to them and not the Supreme Commander. Supreme Commanders on both sides, 1d10 plus leadership. Alternate from there until all fighting units have acted. If one side does not have any units to activate, but the other does, the other continues till all units have activated. Flow of mass combat. Each round is considered about 3 days of time. Yeah. That's one of the things that's always kind of hard to get across, is that large-scale fights take a long-ass time. Warfare actions. They deal the training knife plus soft attack / hard attack plus modifiers to the enemy force. The enemy force reduces the damage by training knife plus organization plus modifiers and reduces their strength. Range of FUs are 1 control zone away from them. FUs may attack 3 control zones away, but take a -2 or -4. Trench fighting units spend turn fortifying their control zone, adding a trench, using the action again, replacing the trench with fortified. Maneuver, retreat, use equipment. The fighting unit FU. When engaged in large scale class, on die value representing their training, as well as a set of statistics representing their abilities and vocations. Fighting unit is designed a step below the current operating group, meaning a platoon fighting against a brigade will be a series of squads versus a series of platoons. Cannon fodder, armed civilian. Okay. Oh, there's a... Go. Alright, so 13. Train. Soldiers who's been given actual training. This is the average of most civilian militias. 14. Extensive training experience while operating under fire. This is the average of a average military force in the world. Professional veterans, so professionals. Actually, I should say most trained civilian militias. For this is the default level for well-trained and well-oiled troops, such as the Imperial Army. This is the most elite and well-trained troops available during the war. Few and far between. FU type. Militia, easily recruited and quickly trained. Militia is the backbone of any mobile army. True represent basic soldiers, been trained to fight and die for the cause. Bush fighters. Train to fight in hostile conditions. These troops are well suited for dangerous terrain and people and its inhabitants. Marines. Trained for amphibious. It'd be trained for amphibious assaults and other water-related. Actually, I would say and other aquatic missions. Gods. The backbone of a military organization is their ability to defend themselves. Guards are the epitome of defense, being offense. Engineers. Militaries. Militaries require those who are good on their feet and able to quickly mobilize their fortifications and equipment. Fast on their feet. Scouts are lightly armed, but are quick to move across the battlefield. Battlefield. Let's see. Personnel, children. Technically, we cannot. And what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have insert footnote. The military age of most countries is around 17. So is around 16. So a character who is younger than 13 is considered a child soldier. And let's see, children, criminals, elderly, military age males, military age, psychopaths, soldiers of fortune. Guns your soldiers are using. Oh boy. Old and scavenged. Native serviceable. Service rifles and standard issue. Standard issue equipment. 90s factory new, so we want to change that to high quality arms and high quality arms. The finest imperial arms available. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little red mark right here, and I'm going to want to go a little bit more in depth there. And support weapon grenadiers, equip with them to follow party fighting unit, and have an additional support weapon. Grenadiers, heavy weapons, terror weapons, trench fighters, vehicles, lightly armored. Unique vehicles, anti-armor, body armor. Begone, FEMA tents. Modifier support equipment. Every civilian can hold an old gun with faulty ammunition taped together with a little more than faith and gum, but it doesn't mean they'll be an effective fighting force. Essential supplies, units that's connected with the control zone are considered to be supplied. Certain control zones, if connected, give the well-equipped bonus. However, if the unit is cut off from supplies, they start with shortages, then temporarily equipped, then destitute. higher support, disloyalty, entrenched, fortified, larger size. Plant +6, multiple attackers, spell, go, begone spell. Let's see. Each battlefield consists of a series of control zones. Total victory points are added up. If one forces double the number of victory points, they win the battle by attrition. Each control zone is unique for strategic purposes, as well as with certain control zones like occupying or setting up equipment, establish better supply lines, or simply control a strategic point on the battlefield. Alpha point, large open field, town Jaza. Okay, actually, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to open up a second one of these. You go away. And Blood Brothers, Mods Persona, tactical points, wealth points. Where are you? Okay. Gives a -4 to attack, attacking a few soft attack, -4 for organization. Actually, no, it's defense, isn't it? Considered fortified for defenders. Man, I'm going to have to write a lot of shit, aren't I? Fine. But okay. No, that's fine. Everything's fine. Classically trained. These are soldiers trained from birth to be excellent soldiers in the heat of battle. Fortunately, that's in melee. Raiders. Daring and often a tad suicidal. Raider. These soldiers are quick to react, are quick to move, and deadly when deployed. Scavs. Often drafted civilians on the move. These troops specialize in moving across deadly terrain, across hazardous terrain with expert efficiency. Houses are death traps to soldiers, with every door being a point of interest, and every room being a kill zone. These fighters revel in it. Oh God, my back. Paramilitary drafted from a personal assortment. The soldiers, these individuals are loyal to their commander, loyal to their officer, to the bitter end. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cavalry sailors and pilots down here. Cavalry. These soldiers are equestrian in nature, allowing them to control temperamental mounts across the hectic battlefield. Sailors. If there's a boat, there's always a person who can get on it, who can pilot. Daring soldiers of the sky. Pilots are the few who are trained to employ aerial vehicles in combat. There we go. And we want to go up. Addiction. Nope. Up, all of you. Oh God, there's more. Yep, I said I'm gonna add everything in, so I am. I'll just do it from here. Dropping from the skies. Soldiers. These troops are deployed from aircraft for tactical assaults. A pilot is is an individual of extreme talent. But these ones are the aces of aces. Bombardiers. Keeping calm under pressure when faced with terrible odds, and flying a giant explosive weapon takes a special kind of person. And then I'm going to integrate all the equipment and infantry. Nope. Might sort this out later for myself. Let's see, new equipment. You may be wondering, why am I integrating all of these things? Well, there's two reasons, mostly. Because Hearts of Darkness is really focused on a... Oh, Jesus. Hearts of Darkness really focused on a small scale overall. It's like you are not really fighting a war per se, you are fighting a revolution. It's a lot of back and forth and very slower, you could say, situations. This one, not so much. Like, not as much. There's a lot of little. Well, you're in a war, and there's a lot. Logistics immediately change quite a bit. As you are it's no longer just, a couple guys kind of fighting back and forth and it's kind of winning the home wars just as much as the faraway war. No. Here, it's a lot. Like, it's two militaries going up against each other. Close air support. Operational fob. Entrenchment is a free action. Cavalry. Cast squadron. Let's see, modifiers. So... routing morale. Control zones. Okay. Not every battle can be won just hearts and minds and guns. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I'm gonna have to integrate a lot of this. Skirmishes and border conflicts. I want to, but I don't want to. we want to do. Grim reality of war. Wow. Wow. How little you all knew this was actually a Waluigi stream. No, that now more like Luigi. Perk from their class, raising edge about one experience. Yeah, I'm keeping in the war. Yes, keeping in the war crimes. Don't forget about that, kids. Major advancement in the war story. So you're dead. Yes, former perks -1. And of course, we're going to alright. Now, what I'm going to have to do here, I'm probably going to call it here. It's been a little bit. I'm going to have to get rid of all of this. But, yeah, the advanced classes here. Probably going to have to integrate these somewhere. But, overall, here are my things and what I plan to do. So overall, it's going to be a lot of integrating fundamental parts into the main document. You kind of see what my ideas, what I needed to get integrated there, and whether or not I want to do kind of the trait system from Valkyria Chronicles proper, and I pretty much need to gut the entirety of the faction system and integrate it effectively into the Iron Casket system right here, as the Iron Casket system is a little bit more what I'm going for. As, you know, things are a little bit, how do I word this? A little bit more core to the experience than in Hearts of Darkness, because Hearts of Darkness was about the war, the conflict, the people and the people involved, while Iron Caskets was very much more about the war and conflict are there, but it's about the people involved more. It's about the day-to-day activities and watching your friends die in horrific tank accidents as you explode, because fuck you and everything you hope and everything you dream about. So let's see. So the classes, I have so many ideas for the classes. I might just need to ask a few people of how they would do it. And this entire section right here, I'll get my little marker out like this. That's just going to be me having to write a bunch of stuff. Integration of the fundamental parts, this is going to be fairly easy to do because it's already in place. I just need to do it. And outside of that, I feel the toughest part to really worry about. I think this is going to be a problem child right here. Making the classes the way I want them. Adapting the Iron Casket system. And mostly like here. This is going to be the issue. Making the force kind of a little bit more comprehensive. So, yeah, hopefully it goes fairly well. This might be... Making this is either going to be a very short amount of time or it's going to be a longer one, depending on how detailed I feel like getting in what the requests are going forward. If the request is effectively give more, I'm probably going to give more. But if I ask around and I don't find anything or nobody's really fascinated in that, I'm probably not going to. Pretty simple as that. Let's see, is there anything else going on out there? No, life's alright. So, thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And we will be streaming probably tomorrow. That's the goal anyway. If we don't stream tomorrow, we'll be streaming on Saturday. Because, Jesus Christ, it's Saturday already. Where did the week go? Please, God, save me. Alright, goodbye, everyone.